Unit 2 Mid-Unit Assessment Study Guide. So I can find the missing values of a table. I can write an equation from a table or story to represent a proportional relationship. I can determine if a table shows a proportional relationship, and I can explain the meaning of the constant of proportionality given a table or story problem. So question 1, Sharon paid $15.40 for 2 1/6 yards of fabric. About how much did she pay per yard? So I'm going to make myself a table. And I'm going to say yards and the cost. I know that 2 1/6 cost $15.40. And I want to figure out how much did that she pay per yard. So for 1 yard. So if I multiply, if I'm trying to get from 2 1/6 to 1, I'm going to divide by 2 1/6. So on this side, I'm going to divide by 2 1/6. So my calculator, I'm going to put 1540 divided by 2.16 repeating, because I don't have one of the fancy calculators in the classroom right now. And I get 7.107. So it's going to be about $7.11 per yard. I had to round because I got 7.017. Sorry, not 107. The 7 tells the 0 to round up, so that's how I got $7.11. Question number 2, which table represents a proportional relationship? So that means that whatever I multiply by, it's going to be the same all the way down. So if I'm going from 3 to 1, I would divide by 3. So 5 divided by 3 does not equal 3. So I know that that's incorrect. I know 3 times 3 is 9, 5 times 3 is 15, 8 times 3 is not 2.3. 3 times 2 is 6, 5 times 2 is 10. So let's hope the last one works. 3 times 2 is 6, 5 times 2 is 10, 8 times 2 is 16, 11 times 2 is 22. So my answer would be D. They multiply by the same factor all the way down. The table shows how many pages Jenny read over time. Which value of X would create a proportional relationship between the total pages Jenny read and the time? So I want to find how much it is for 1. So I'm going to divide by 3. Divide this side by 3. So 171 divided by 3 is going to give me 57. So I know that 1 hour, she reads 57 pages. The table below shows the cost of buying different numbers of DVDs. So they want to know what value of X would make this table proportional. So I'm going to figure out how much it is for 1 so that I can move forward and figure out how much it would be for 10. So I'm going to divide by 3. So it means I'm going to divide this side by 3. So $35.97 divided by 3 would give me $11.99. So now if I want to figure out what 10 DVDs is going to be, I'm going to multiply by 10. So I'm going to multiply by 10. And I get $119.90. So I had to add a row. So if I was doing this on my test tomorrow, I'm going to make sure that I add a row or take a screenshot, add a row, or on my scratch paper, add a row. All right, Josiah recorded the number of cans of soup and the total cost of the soup in this table. What does 8, 7, 20 represent in words? So 8, 7, 20. So that would be 8 cans of soup for $7.20. That's what it means. All right, in the table, Dylan recorded the amount of money he earned based on the number of days he worked. What was Dylan's unit rate, and what does it represent in words? So unit rate means for one. So I'm going to divide by 20. Divide by 20. It doesn't matter what row in the table I chose. I chose that one just because it was the closest. So 2,600 divided by 20, and I get $130. So what does it represent? So the unit rate is $130. That's how much he's paid. For one day. So the unit rate is the amount for one. All right, a 5-pound bag of apples costs $4.25. An 8-pound bag of the same type of apples costs $7.50. Greg found the unit price, which is the constant of proportionality between the cost and the weight of the bag of each apples. What is the difference in the unit prices? So I'm going to make myself a table. So I know I have pounds of apples and the cost. So 5 for $4.25. So I want to figure out what it is for one. So I'm going to divide by 5. So I'll divide this side by 5. So my calculator, I'm putting 425 divided by 5, and I get 85 cents. So now I need to compare that with the 8-pound bag. Pounds of apples, the cost, 8 pounds for $7.50. I want to figure out what it is for one. So I'm going to divide by 8, because 8 divided by 8 is 1. 750 divided by 8. And I get 0.9375. Well, I know in money, I can only have 2 places behind the decimal. So the 7 tells the 3 to round up. So I have 94 cents per pound. So they want to know the difference. So that means I'm going to take 94 cents and subtract 85 cents, and it's 9 cents per pound. All right, this table shows the relationship between x and y. Write an equation to model this relationship. Well, I'm going to have to add a row and find for 1. So I'm dividing by 3. So I'm going to divide this side by 3. So 76.5 divided by 3. And I get 25.5. So I know that 25.5 times x is going to equal y. So 25.5x equals y, or I could write y equals 25.5x, either way. But I know that 3 times 25.5 is going to give me 76.5. 6 times 25.5 is going to give me 153. 11 times 25.5 is going to give me 280.5. Number 9, the table below shows the cost S to purchase P pounds of steak at a local grocery store. Is this relationship proportional? Write an equation that represents the relationship. Well, I've got to find the amount for 1. So I'm going to divide by 2.5. Divide this side by 2.5. So in my calculator, 1248 divided by 2.5, and I get I get 4 4.992. Well, I know 2 tells the 9 to stay the same because you can only have 2 places behind the decimal in money. So $4.99 per pound. So now I just have to check that and make sure it works. So is 3 times $4.99 going to give me $14.97? Yes. 3.5 times $4.99. I get 17.465. Well, the 5 tells the 6 to round up to 47. So that checks out. My calculator, 4 times $4.99. And I get $19.96. Yes. So is this relationship proportional? Yes. And they want us to write an equation. So 499p equals S. So S equals 499p. Or I could have said 499p equals S. Either one of those would have worked. Question 10. A grocery store sells 5 pounds of pears for $6.75. Write an equation. So I'm going to draw myself a table. I have my pears and I have my cost. So I know 5 pounds of pears cost $6.75. I want to figure out what 1 pound of pears costs because they want to know cost of pounds of pears. So I divide by 5. So on this side I'm going to divide by 5. And in my calculator I get $6.75 divided by 5, $1.35. So I know that $1.35 times the pounds equals the cost. So 135 times the pounds equals the cost, or I could have said cost equals 135. Times the pounds. Question 11. Andre rode a bike at a constant speed. He rode 1 mile in 6 minutes. And they want to know how long it takes him to ride. They want us to create an equation that will represent the amount of time it takes him to ride d miles. So I'm going to make myself a table. I have my miles. And I have, well, they want miles and distance, so I should put a D here. And my number of miles, which is my time, which is my number of minutes. So he went 1 mile in 6 minutes. Well, they've already given me the constant of proportionality. They told me how much it was for 1. So 6 times the distance equals the time. Or I could say T equals 6D. Either of those would have worked. Write the equation 5.65x models the cost in dollars to purchase X pounds of steak at a grocery store 1. The table shows the cost to buy different weights of steak at grocery store 2, which sold the steak for less per pound and by how much less per pound. So I'm going to have to, I know the constant of proportionality is $5.65 at store 1, so I have to find out what it is in store 2. So I'm going to divide by 2, and I get $6.50 per pound. So I know that store, they want us to know which one was less. So store 1 was less, and they want to know how much less per pound. So I'm going to do $6.50 minus $5.65. 85 cents less per pound. Question 13. John earned $7.50 per hour at his job. Becky's earnings were given by the equation P equals 7.75x, where P is her total earnings in dollars and X is the number of hours worked. If they each worked 9 hours, who earns more and how much more? All right, so I'm going to set up John. So I have hours and earnings. So I know for 1 hour he earns $7.50. So I want to know for 9 hours. So I'm going to multiply by 9. So $7.50 times 9. I get $67.50. Then I want to check Becky. So I know hours and earnings. I know her constant of proportionality is $7.75 for 1 hour. Oops, I did that backwards. 1 hour is $7.75. So I want to figure out what 9 hours are going to be. So I'm going to multiply by 9, multiply by 9. So $7.75 times 9. I get $69.75. So now they want to know how much more. So I know Becky earns more. And I'm going to do $69.75 minus $67.50. And it's $2.25. So in 9 hours, Becky earns $9 or $2.25 more. All right, Susan is considering 2 different restaurants to cater her birthday party. Restaurant M charges $14.95 for each person that attends the party. Restaurant P uses the table below to calculate the cost for a party. If Susan will have 45 people at her party, which restaurant is the better deal and how much will she save? So I can figure out the first one by doing $14.95 times 45 people. So $14.95 times 45 people, and I get $672.75. For the second one, I'm going to have to add a row, figure out how much it is for one person. So divide by 25, divide by 25. So $368.75 divided by 25, I get $14.75. So I know that restaurant P is cheaper. Now I have to figure out how much cheaper. So $14.75 times 45 people. I get $663.75. So I have to figure out which one's cheaper, so I'm going to subtract them. And I get $9 cheaper. So she saves $9 by having her party at restaurant P versus restaurant M. All right, if you have any questions, just send me an email. Otherwise, have a great rest of your day.